Welcome back to Unsolicited Advice, brought to you by Toxic Bubblegum. I'm Bubblegum.
I'm Toxic.
And today we're talking about nostalgia.
But we're not going to give you advice, so don't look for it.
Ooh.
Nice.
Slightly menacing, but true.
Very aggressively honest way to start this episode.
It was very aggressive, it turns out.
In less aggressive news, I've got a quote.
Yay!
But here's the truth of nostalgia. We don't feel it for who we were, but who we weren't. We feel it for all the possibilities that were open to us, but that we didn't take.
That's from Welcome to Night Vale. That will give you lots of advice. Be very weird, though.
Yeah.
Very weird and upsetting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how a lot of advice is from Welcome to Night Vale.
That's true. That's sort of the whole podcast is.
What if Welcome to Night Vale had been marketed as an advice podcast?
Jesus Christ.
Alligators, can they kill your children? Yes.
God.
Good. Listen to Welcome to Night Vale, everybody.
That's a good source of nostalgia for me. So I was inspired for this by the fact that we just did the 101st episode with Cookies and Milk, because they were doing a clip show on their 100th episode. And I was like, nostalgia's a good theme.
Yeah.
It turns out. It happens so very often, and a lot of times without even realizing it.
Yeah.
So, I figured we'd just sort of fuck around and talk about that. I don't have a real reason or anything.
Nice.
It's just fun.
It's some good timing for me. I've had a lot of nostalgic things pop up recently.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Sometimes that's just how it is. You're watching Game of Thrones again.
I'm watching Game of Thrones again.
Is that a source of nostalgia? Yeah.
No.
No.
I don't know. Maybe. I've only been watching Game of Thrones for like 5 years.
Oh. Harley's here. Also,
How long it takes to
become nostalgic. Oh, I mean, I think
because like I never quit watching Game of Thrones.
that's true. It's still a thing you're actively like doing.
Right.
So like,
I'm for those of you who don't know, I'm working on an upcoming solo podcast.
huh?
Yeah, it's nice.
Oh no.
I'm doing Game of Thrones recaps in High Valyrian.
Oh, that's right.
That's why I'm watching Game of Thrones.
I mean, you also just like to watch Game of Thrones.
I also do
every
just
now
like
and
to watch
then.
Game of Thrones. It's important.
It's true. You like it.
I do like it. It's difficult because I am working with like less than a quarter of the language of High Valyrian.
That's
so
true. It's
my
not.
recaps are something.
It's not a whole.
I'm working on it.
Yet. You'll get there. By the time Game of Thrones becomes nostalgic, you'll have gotten there.
Yeah. But it is because I did spend a lot of time recently with my cousins who are all children. So I got to go back to, like, I got to share horror content with my family, but it all had to be content from when I was little, so that I did not traumatize any children.
Right. You also watched a lot of fucking Disney movies, as I heard.
I did watch a lot of Disney movies, but those weren't, like, nostalgic for me, because they were all ones I hadn't seen for the most part, except for, like, Frozen, which also was not nostalgic, but for a whole different subset of reasons. But it was, I got to watch, the one that I wanted to talk about is House on Haunted Hill, because that was like, and this is something I was also talking about on my horror blog recently. I usually credit Cube as being like the first horror movie that I ever saw, because it was the first time that I had been watching a movie and like acknowledged that horror was a genre.
Right.
But I think and it's one of those things because you know there were just like classic horror movies on in the house when I was a kid. I didn't so I'm not 100% sure about this. I think House on Haunted Hill is like the first horror movie that I ever saw, probably.
That checks out.
Because it was like it's one of the first ones that I have memories of. It was my favorite movie for a while as a kid. But I got to share that with my cousins because they wanted to watch.
They wanted to watch a grown-up scary movie.
grown-up scary movie.
Such a cute way to phrase it.
And yeah, so that I got to share that with them, and it was a lot of fun. And I also got to read Goosebumps
Aww.
to them, which was also a very nostalgic thing for me. So it was fun. There was like some horror nostalgia happening for me over the summer.
Right, you got to hit all the good points of it.
Yeah.
Because you got to curate it also, so you don't have to watch like the bad horror movies.
Right.
That I'm absolutely sure you had to sit through.
Yeah.
Once in a while.
Of course.
Yeah, I feel like nostalgia is always coming up these days. I'm old. I'm a whole 23 years old. And I feel old all the time. We were talking about Pokemon yesterday on Cookies and Milk, our partner podcast with... It's not a partner podcast, it's on our partner channel. Yeah. You know what I mean. But so we were talking about it, and I was like getting all emotional because I have very distinct memories of sitting around playing Pokemon Silver just consistently, like all the time. And it's like, so every time I'm talking about Pokemon, like I'm always going back to that mindset of being like 8 years old and being like, this is the holy grail of video games. Nothing will ever beat this.
Nice.
And I got a little bit of nostalgia goggles on that one. Because the first two Pokemon games were difficult as hell. I don't know how I played them as a child. That's how I feel about a lot of games, actually, that I played as a child. I get to certain sections and I'm like, how the fuck did I beat this as a child?
What is it? There's the Alice in Wonderland game for the Game Boy that's, like, stupid hard.
Of course!
And
why wouldn't it
like,
be?
I never had a problem with it as a kid, but like a couple of years ago, I tried to play it again, and it was like, I don't know how I had the patience for this. Because, like, the final boss, it's like a mini-game type situation.
Oh, no!
And they have, like, you have to play croquet, and it's hard.
Oh, God.
It's like one of those timing things, you know, where you have to, like...
Oh, it's like a timing event game.
And it's not... Like, the game isn't like that, but, like, the final boss is.
Of course!
And that's, like, not the kind of
gameplay
that you had been prepared for the entire game.
It's like...
Because it's like a puzzle game, but then randomly there's, like, this thing at the end that you have to... And you can only mess up, like, twice in the course of, like, 6 rounds or whatever, and it's like, I don't know how I ever beat this as a kid, honestly.
Oh, God, I don't know how it happens at all.
And it was, like, Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, God.
For the Game Boy.
Oh, I can't, I
had, like,
imagine.
100%, and it's like, as an adult, that game frustrated the shit out of me. I don't know how I did that.
I just like those things, it was like, when you're a kid, I don't know if this is true. I feel like I got less frustrated as a child.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get frustrated with the game, I got frustrated, like, with myself. And I was like, I gotta be better at this. Whereas, as an adult, you recognize, like, what the fuck is going on? Why is the game itself so difficult? I think that's the big, difference between playing a game as a child and then replaying it as an adult.
Yeah.
Because
that makes sense.
That's exactly how it was Pokemon. Because as an adult, I register that the game is exceedingly difficult.
Yeah.
Like, Red version is so fucking hard. I did not make it very far into the virtual console version, because I have it, and then I was like, fuck this. But it was also because I feel like, as an adult, I feel pressured to play Pokemon differently than I did as a child. Mm-hmm. Because, like, I used to play it. I had my starter Pokemon. That was the only Pokemon I used. Yeah. Like, it didn't matter. Type matchups didn't mean a damn thing to my child brain.
Side note, this is still how I play Pokemon.
I was like, and then, like, I was an adult, and I was like, well, if I want to fill out my Pokedex, I gotta make sure everybody's training up to the right level, so I don't have to go back and do it, because that's what I did when I was a kid, and I never finished the Pokedex as a kid. That being said, I've never finished Pokedex as an adult.
If anyone wants to trade me legendary Pokemon.
If anyone would like Kat's Pokemon account, to give her Pokemon?
I would give you so many Charmanders.
For every legendary, I will give you 200 Charmanders.
That is, yeah, that's
200
true.
Charmander eggs. One of them might be shiny.
Yeah.
You never know. But yeah, like as a
no, filling out the Pokedex is hard.
Yeah, it's so hard because it's like I started doing it like especially because like the EXP system got exponentially better in my opinion because it shares it among the whole team and it doesn't give half the XP you earn to one Pokemon in the team.
Yeah.
Bad. But so like fucking I could literally go into Silver version with my level 99 Typhlosion and beat the shit out of Red's Blastoise. Yeah. And like it's that easy. Which is why I'm always like, oh yeah, Silver was a great game. I had no trouble with it. It was like, it's because I broke the fucking game with this stupid high level Typhlosion. And now I'm like, I gotta level everyone up equally. We all gotta be on the same playing field before we go into the next area. And it's like, dummy. Trained you started better. And I'm like,
yeah.
But yeah. There are a lot of nostalgic things.
Just like one final Pokemon note, having a fire starter and using it primarily will 100% just like break the game for you. I never realized that Pokemon was hard for people.
Yeah.
Cause that was like it was, and it's one of those things where it's like looking back now, I play that way because I'm lazy and I don't care that much about the gameplay. But like when I started, that just seemed like the intuitive way to do it.
Right.
And the games were so easy.
Right.
And it's like I never knew.
It rewards you for focusing on one specific Pokemon.
It really does.
Because it's like, my Bulbasaur and Venusaur were just stupid OP in the original game. Like they were just like, I got a plant man. I got a plant frog. This here is big. He wins. And then same thing, repeat with Typhlosion in Gen 2. And then I didn't play for a while, and then X came along, and I was be like a reasonable adult. I'm gonna like keep Fennekin in my party all the time, and it'll be fine. And then it was like, idiot, fucking shut up. And I was like, oh, I just want to play. I just want to like play the Pokedex, and it was like, except it was X, so it was still super easy, but you know you get the gist of it. Yeah.
Video games are like a fun nostalgia thing. They're especially fun for me because I had like a really weird selection of games
I
played when I was a child.
I had a weird selection of games that I watched people play.
Oh, that's... Yeah.
We're gonna get into that. We'll do yours first, though. We'll take turns.
It's just like, because I played, like, I had a small selection of games that were for children, that were, like, very specifically tailored for certain niches of children. I played, what got me in... like the transition drug for me, what got me into video games was because they did Harry Potter games for the PC.
Oh god, those games. I
loved those because I loved Harry Potter, and that was like why I started gaming.
Do you remember in the Chamber of Secrets game, the one you had to like sneak around? Were you in the forbidden section of the library?
Yeah, and you were
just
invisible.
Yeah, but you could get caught so fucking easily.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that you were invisible.
Have an invisibility cloak, but you can't see where you're going. But if you fall, Filch will see you. Yeah.
Oh, God, it was so hard.
Yeah.
That's what I remember. I also remember collecting the beans.
Yeah.
That was, I think...
You were talking about, like, the Spyro rooms the other day, and it reminded me, because there was, like, in the second or third one, there were Birdie Bot rooms, where, like, if you did well enough in your classes, you just got to go to, like, room full of Bertie Bott's.
I think that had to be the third one, because I don't remember that in the second one.
It might have
Maybe I just wasn't good enough at the second one, because that's also a possibility.
Yeah, I remember it was like, you had to do like really well at, there was like one mini game or something that you had to do really well on, and you had like 4 chances throughout the entire game to make it to this room, but it was my favorite part of the game because you just got to run around, and then like there were different secret areas in that room. You had like 2 minutes or whatever to run around and collect beans, and like each thing, like each spell that you unlocked got you access to like a different area of it. So it was like the first one you could just kind of run around, but then you got like the jumping spell or whatever, and you got to like summon like little launch pads to get up to the next level of them, and like as you flew up there were like bean arches.
Oh my
and
god.
it was good. It was very rewarding.
That sounds so nice.
I can't play any of those anymore because my computer does not have a CD drive. So I still have all of these like random EA games, and then there was one other one. I had the only other kids game that I played that was even remotely age appropriate was I played a thing called Timon and Pumbaa's Jungle Arcade.
Oh my god, you showed me this!
Yeah.
You showed me this game!
Yeah. It was good. It was really good. It was just like a bunch of mini games. It was like party games for children. Timon and Pumbaa showed you around. They had like a pinball and like
like the
breakout type thing,
right?
Frogger, and it was just like a bunch of random. And those were like the children's games that I had as a child. Everything after that was like really not appropriate for my age. I played Quake when I was really young. Tomb Raider wasn't so bad.
Yeah, Tomb Raider's sort of that middle ground.
Like that was
area.
acceptable. I didn't like it as much as Quake. I played like a lot of Quake and a lot of Quake 3 Arena. Quake 2 kind of got lost in that.
You gets lost in the mix.
But one of the things, cause like I grew up in a house with like my older cousin, and her dad, they would have like, sometimes he'd have people over and they would do like LAN parties where everyone would like team up and play Quake. So it was just like, there was a lot of Quake in the house, I guess. And I wanted to be in on it because, you know, kids like to be included and stuff. So I got really good at Quake because that was important.
Didn't like you start playing Quake and like your cousin got mad at you because you were better at it than she was? Was it that one or was it Tomb Raider? Or was it both?
It was actually Oni. If anyone remembers Oni.
No.
I had
cat.
No one does.
I know. Would you like to give some context?
Oni was like a third person like a third person fantasy sci-fi. I don't really know what you call it. It was a Japanese game. And it was like a mix of sniping people and hand-to-hand combat. But I don't know why, because I never really paid attention to what was happening, but I had incredible beginner's luck, and I beat Oni in, like, a day. I got really mad about it. I did have really good beginner's luck, like, I could start just about any game and have the impression that I was an expert at it for, like, the first 10 minutes or whatever. I was also kind of a dick as a child, which...
Tell me about it.
Like, so she did get mad at me a few times in Quake and Tomb Raider. The one notable one being, she pissed me off. So my reaction as like a jerky kid, I hopped down into, there was like this one area in Tomb Raider that was a spike pit, but if you landed just right, it wouldn't kill you until you made contact with the spikes, and then it would just like automatically trigger the falling into the spike pit jump scene. You could like kind of glitch it out, and so I did that on her account, and I saved the game from that glitch spot, because she made me mad. She provoked me. No one should do that, because I was terrible. I was a terrible child. But anyway, yeah, I played like a lot of... Quake, I think, is like the only nostalgic game that I can really... that I have access to at this point in my life.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because that one you can still...
Oh, and Blood Rain. Yeah. I forgot about that. The World War II thing started really early for me.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize because I had forgotten that Blood Rain was a game where you fight Nazis.
Oh yeah. Shit.
I forgot that's like the point of the game. Because I always
that should be the point of more games
for the vampires.
Frankly. Well, of course.
You know, there's like a sexy vampire lady. You play for that, but then also you get to fight Nazis.
The game started real early.
Yeah,
you find out.
Yeah, as an adult, it's like, I might be gay, and also I don't like Nazis. And then it's like, as a child,
you're like, oh shit, it all comes together.
like, I didn't know what a Nazi was, but I wanted to fight it.
That was the correct thing to do.
Yeah, I know. Those instincts were put in so young. Thanks, Blood Rain. Appropriate for children.
Maybe not. I mean, I don't have any room to talk either. Because I remember when I started playing Diablo, because I was 8 years old. I very specifically remember it. Because my older cousin was playing it on our... So we were on a...
Cousins, dude.
Dude, we were on a camping trip, and he had brought his laptop, which somehow, in 2002, he had a laptop that was powerful enough to play Diablo in the middle of the forest.
That sounds wrong.
I
don't think I ever knew it was on a camping trip.
Yes, we were camping at Lake Michigan, because this is the same trip where me, my dad, and my sister got lost in the sand dunes.
Of course.
This is the same trip that happened on. Lots of things happened on that trip. Those are the only two I remember. This is the first time I saw someone play Diablo, and also I got lost in the sand dunes. It was great.
Jeez.
But yeah, he was like playing it, and like, I like got home, and I was like, that was a really cool game, because he let me play it for a little bit. And then like, I got home, and I was like, I want to play this, and then my friends were just like, okay, we'll go get you a copy. And I asked them about this later, because I like, and I was like, you guys just fucking let me play Diablo when I was 8 years old, and they were like, if you didn't like it, you would have turned it off and you wouldn't have played it. And I was like, I guess you have a point.
That's fair.
But yeah, my childhood consisted of very weird, free-to-play game that, like, I don't even know where we got half these games. So we played Lemmings a lot, which I don't know if Lemmings came with the computer or we got it from somewhere or something. We've just always had Lemmings. That's just how it is. So Lemmings, for people who don't know, it got a re-release on the PS4, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, it was PS3 or PS4. But they redid it with like HD graphics, and like they redid, and it was the most surreal things. Anyway, it's a puzzle game where you have a bunch of lemmings who are like little dudes in like blue overalls and have green hair, and they like walk around the stage, and you have to get them to the exit, and they just walk in straight lines. That's what they do because they're lemmings.
Yeah.
And you have a bunch of different tools, and I would just watch my dad play that for hours. Because that's what I did as a child. I didn't play video games as a child. I watched my dad play video games. And that's why I watch Let's Players now. Because that's just how my life is, I guess. I like to watch people doing things rather than doing things. But that was a big one. And then the other one, which is my favorite game to talk about from my childhood,
is good.
Chex Quest. So,
for those of you who like to play video games instead of watching people play video games, play Chex Quest.
Play Chex Quest.
Send the Let's Play to Alan.
Please, I would love to watch a Let's Play of Chex Quest. But I would get so mad because it would need to be 100% run through. Because I know where every single secret area is in all of those games. So for those who don't know, Chex Quest we got from a Chex cereal box. I don't know if we got the Chex cereal or my grandmother got the Chex cereal. No, my uncle from Florida got the cereal.
Of course it was your uncle from Florida.
My uncle from Florida, who might be Florida Man. I'm not sure he's
not. If, like, you changed Florida Man's alignment to chaotic good, it would be Alan's uncle.
Honestly, he's like he's a fisherman who ran a kayaking business for a while, and like he's Like, he does, like, a bunch of random shit. I literally don't know what he does. He just fucks around in Florida, I guess. But so he got it, and he sent it to us, and Chex Quest is a reskin of Doom. It runs on the Doom engine, but what it says in the README, if you read it, it says, Chex Quest is a fun and educational game to teach kids about nutrition. Because it is reskinned to be Chex cereal themed. You play as a man whose armor is a piece of Chex cereal. Everyone is cereal people. That's the world you live in, but you're also in space. You are space people who are made out of cereal, and you have to fight the Flemoids, who are just gobs of green goo who have kidnapped your fellow cereal people and are holding them hostage. And you have to save them. And it just plays exactly like Doom, but instead of blood, there is phlegm. Also, the quote-unquote nutritional teachings are to regain health, you can collect food. And so the way they market it as educational is fruit restores 10% of your health. Vegetables restore 25% of your health. Eating a full Chex cereal increases your health by 100%. And I'm like, I thought it was the funniest shit when I found it out, and now saying it as an adult, I still think it's the funniest shit. But yeah, I would literally, like, I would pester my dad to play this game so much. Like, all the time. That was how I bonded with my father, was over this and my I Love Math books.
I also bonded with my dad over games, but my dad is not much of a gamer. The games that he likes, again, are very specific. We used to play Pinball Space Cadet a lot. And there was like a bowling game that we had that we also played a lot. But for whatever reason, I don't know why. I guess because I liked true crime, and he thought it would be like a bonding experience. He got me a Jack the Ripper point-and-click adventure that I had kind of forgotten about. But you were talking about like bonding experiences with dads,
and all of a sudden,
yeah. And I remember it. It was really hard though. Like the first few levels were really good because you got to play as a detective and you were chasing down Jack the Ripper, and it was like a fun time. It was like a gritty, noir style point and click horror adventure.
Okay, but was there blood or was there phlegm?
No, there was definitely blood.
Oh, well, that's not a kid's game then.
No.
If it had just been green instead of red, it would have been fine.
But like then Dad couldn't figure out how to like help me.
Oh no.
Because that was the thing, is we would like help each other when we got stuck in puzzles, but then we both got stuck in like the same place.
Oh no.
It was like we never got to finish. We also had like a Monty Python's Holy Grail Tetris.
Sure.
You got to like you had to this sounds so bad.
I just talked about
as a
Chex
children's
Quest.
game. Okay. Well, there was like the pit of bodies, and the bodies were contorted into like the different Tetris shapes.
Jesus
so you had to like drop them in, but then like every now and then there would be one that would change shape because it was the
guy
still alive guy.
I'm not dead yet.
Yeah, and he would say that as he was like falling into the pit, but then you had to get him in there anyway.
Of course. Jesus Christ.
Because that's how Tetris works, I guess.
Yeah, that's how Tetris works. Didn't you know?
I did. I learned it from the Monty Python and the Holy Grail. But yeah, games are a fun one.
Yeah. The other game I played with my dad was Jersey Devil, which was like this fucking obscure as hell platformer for the PlayStation. And like, I've tried to replay it, and I mean, like, the controls are they take a lot of getting used to because they're somehow super sensitive and not sensitive at all.
Yeah.
And the first level just fucking throws you into it. It's like, here's a fucking bottomless pit. You have to jump over like 12 platforms and then fight an enemy, and it's like, what the hell is going on in this game? But like I loved it so much because it had like a fun like little cartoon intro, and like the devil is like he looks like a superhero. Does not look like the Jersey Devil like in any capacity. But he looks like fun. It's like a fun little thing. And I love it, but like the controls are really bad. Ben played it, and he was like, "Why would you ever want to play video games again after playing this game?" And I was like, "Because I didn't play it, because I had Dad play it, and he was good at it, and I remembered where everything was, because that's what I do." That's like my thing from like playing games is I remember where everything is, so when someone gets stuck, I can tell them where to go. But so that we played like all time. So I would pester my dad to play games, and then we would choose one of those 3 games, and then we would play them, meaning he would play them and I would watch it. I would tell him where things were when he didn't know. And that was a lot of my childhood. And then I played Spyro and Pokemon also. Those were like the big games that I actually played.
As like a side note, I still to this day, he doesn't let me anymore, but I still really like those rare occasions when I can harass my dad to play games. Because my dad's approach to gaming, I am one of those people, I definitely prefer to be playing games myself, with the exception of my dad, because the way that he like approaches a video game is just so counterintuitive to everything. And my favorite example of this, I got like a Slender emulator for the Nook.
Oh, of course.
I don't know why I did that, but I thought it would be fun, and I was having Dad play it because he wouldn't play 8 pages with me. He said he would, and then he never did, and my computer stopped being, like, my computer at the time was having, like, a big overheating problem, so he couldn't play it anymore. So I downloaded an emulator for my tablet, which, again, was a Nook, and not, like, anything I should have been running games on. But I gave it to him, and he's like running around for a little bit, and he's like learning the controls or whatever, and Slenderman shows up, and Dad just like fucking charges him. And I'm like, Dad, no, you're gonna lose, like you can't. And he's like, that's fine, I'm okay with that, like that's A-okay. And he just like, the game just like broke, like I guess no one had ever done that, and he just like glitched to the other side of Slenderman and was fine. And he beat the game that way, and it was so funny, and it's like,
oh, this is the most your dad thing I've ever heard. Frankly, that's very much your dad.
So whenever I can, I like to get my dad to play games. Except for, well, like 6-7 years ago, I made the mistake. I made him play 1916 Uber Conti Krieg. And that was like the last time he just like blindly agreed to play a game for me. I don't know why.
Because he doesn't like dinosaurs.
That's
what I'm saying about your dad now. He doesn't like dinosaurs.
That checks out.
How dare he?
I'll see that disproven when he plays Der Uber Conti Krieg. My partner also will not let me choose video games for him because of 1916.
You keep giving people the Velociraptors.
1916 is like a really good game, but you have to have a lot of patience, and you have to be...
It will just fucking kill you sometimes without explaining things.
Outside of the box thinking.
Because, like, there's the times, like, you got the gas mask, and then it's like, okay, I can go, and it doesn't tell you you need to equip it.
You have to equip the gas mask.
But it doesn't tell you.
There's an equip, but it's in the instructions are in German.
Yeah.
They're definitely there.
They're in German. Maybe
That's
this is why it doesn't cut.
German.
Maybe this is why. Well, maybe all of us don't read German, Cat. You did it when you found the game.
Everyone should play 1916. Nostalgic fun.
Is it nostalgic?
Yes.
God. Playing games with people is some of my favorite nostalgia. Because I remember we used to play games together.
Yeah.
We used to play mini games together.
Oh, yeah.
You were not good at them.
No.
No.
I was, like, really good at the baseball one.
Yeah.
Randomly.
You were, like, so good at the baseball one. Like, okay, so what me and Kat used to do when we were younger, it started when we were hanging out. So, we would just play mini games together because mini games are fun. So we played Wii Sports and we played Pokemon Stadium 2.
Yeah.
Was the one we basically rotated.
Sonic and the Secret Rings.
Yeah, the Sonic and the Secret Rings minigame because like I couldn't beat the rest of the games, so I just decided we were gonna play minigames.
The
forever.
minigames were more fun, anyway.
Right?
Honestly.
But so we would do that, but when Kat wasn't good at a game, she instead of trying, she would just fuck with the computers as hard as possible.
Yeah, we used to like tag team the comms. We would put them on like really high difficulties, and then I would sabotage them.
Yeah,
it's fun.
So funny, especially because I had problems with the red computer like consistently.
Yeah, you did.
I like would get mad at it because it seemed like out of the two computers, the red one was always the better one.
Yeah.
So I took to calling it it was the Red Menace.
Yeah.
Or the Communist, because it was a red computer. So it said "com" on it.
Yeah.
The plot twist is, I'm socialist. Oh no.
Oh, no.
But no, it's just like one of those things where I remember there was one time we were like, I was like, I wonder what it'd be like to play this game upside down, and then you like did it.
Yeah.
You just like played all the mini games upside down. It did not go well for you.
No.
But
in all fairness, I was bad at the mini games anyway. It wasn't going that great for me before.
So I was like, why the fuck not? But yeah, I remember that. I remember that very well. Because we did that, like, all the fucking time, as it turns out.
You also used to watch me play, like, random horror games.
Yeah, that's true. Again, in my vein of watching people play games. Can't we find, like, random horror games that I would watch?
Yeah. Were you there for free ice cream?
I think so. Yes! I was there for free ice cream. It was a game where somebody offered you free ice cream and then they kidnapped you?
Yeah.
Right? Then you had to get out of the house.
Yeah.
And that was the game.
It was good.
It was trolling.
Did
You like killed the guy in the end or something like that.
Yeah. You have to.
You have to, because you gotta get out of the house. Those good times.
Yeah.
So it's weird. Like, sometimes I feel nostalgic for like the feeling of playing the game. Like that's how I am with like Spyro. But other times it's like I get just nostalgic for like the memories that happened while I was playing the game.
Yeah.
Like, because my big, like, I don't think about the gameplay of Chex Quest a lot because, again, I didn't play. I mean, I played it a few times, but I was bad at it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, Dad, play this game instead of me because I'm bad at it. But so, because I very specifically, I don't remember what goes on the screen, but I very specifically remember sitting in the chair next to my dad and, like, leaning in and watching him play it. Because it was like, that was like set up for it. So I very specifically remember that, and that's why I enjoy like thinking about Chex Quest so much, because I'm playing with my daddy. And it was like I remember that very specific feeling of sitting in that chair and being like, you missed the keys over there, the secret door's over there.
Yeah.
You missed one.
I think that's one of the reasons why I like Quake 3 Arena as much as I do. Because it's not like I love the Quake series, don't get me wrong, but like arena style games have never been my thing.
Right.
That being the one exception, and I do think it's a nostalgia thing, you know, because like I remember playing with my cousin and having like a good time and eating instant soup for lunch every day, and
you still do.
I still do that. For the nostalgia.
For the nostalgia. No.
I just don't like cooking. I like instant soup. But there are like a lot of good memories that are tied into that.
Right.
It's good.
It's like, I think it's the same thing with like a lot of movies for me. Part of the nostalgia is it's a good movie, but other times I just feel nostalgic because I remember watching it so many times. Like that's how it is with The Road to El Dorado. I've watched that movie every single time we went on a road trip, me and my sister wanted to watch that movie. So we would watch it. We watched it there and on the way back. So, like, we just watched that movie so much. And I just remember sitting in the car because we had to finagle, like, the TV in the car. Cause you remember how it was set up. It was, like, it was one of those, like, CRT TVs. So, like, it had the box to it. And so my parents strapped it between their seats, and it was, like, right there in the middle. And so me and my sister would just sit there on either side and just stare at the TV. My parents did not actually see this movie for the longest time. They just heard it. And then I also didn't see it in color for the longest time, because we watched it on the TV, but so we didn't watch it in the house.
Yeah.
But the TV was black and white.
That's a fun thing.
Yeah.
Like, there were a lot of movies I didn't realize were in color. Because I had, like, an old black and white TV upstairs.
Right.
And it was like, there were specific things that I always watched on that same TV without ever thinking, like, oh, hey.
Oh, I could watch it on a different TV. It might be different.
Like, The Point. I don't know if anyone ever saw that obscure kids movie of the day.
There we go.
But I thought it was a black and white cartoon for the longest time, and it's very full color. It's like a very colorful movie.
Oh yeah, I know how that goes. I remember the first time we watched it in color, and I was like, whoa, because there's the scene where there's like a dragon's mouth, which is one of the, like, landmarks they go by because it's one of the ones on the map, and, like, all these butterflies come out of the mouth, and it's like it's really cool, like, in black and white. What I didn't know was that the butterflies are gold, which is, like, a precursor to the rest of the movie. So the first time I saw that, I was like, oh, holy shit! That's pretty! It's fun things. There's some other nostalgic things. We talked a bunch about games.
Like, I kind of went through this the other day. I watched Sweeney Todd for the first time in a while.
Yeah. For Reverend, we used to watch Sweeney Todd, like, every fucking weekend, at least.
Yeah,
you would watch it every single day.
It was my favorite thing. It was, like, my favorite soundtrack, and also my favorite movie, like, visually. So it was like, if I wanted to watch something, I'd watch Sweeney Todd. Or if I just needed to have something on in the background, it would be Sweeney Todd.
Right, when you would just, if I had put on Sweeney Todd, it would be just on the whole day, because that's just...
It was good.
It's good.
And yeah, I got... It's weird, because there's, like, still that part of me for Sweeney Todd that's like, this isn't old enough to be nostalgic, even though it's, like, 11 years old now.
We're going by Nostalgia Critic rules.
Yeah, I guess.
So it's one of the most interesting things about the Nostalgia Critic before everything happened. There's another thing I'm nostalgic for is the Nostalgia Critic.
Yeah, I miss good Nostalgia Critic.
Yeah, I miss old Nostalgia Critic. I think that's one of the harder nostalgia things to have is having a nostalgic thing for something that's still going.
Yeah.
Which I feel like a lot happens with, like, series and stuff, or, like, web shows or stuff like that, because, like, I mean, I'm, like, super nostalgic for SpongeBob. I was obsessed as a child. Like, I literally had the entire first season of the show memorized. It was bad, probably, but I thought it was cool. Anyway, I love SpongeBob. And, like, I still think a lot of the episodes are, like, really funny. Like, from the first few seasons, like, obviously before the movie, because that's, you know, everything about that. But I mean, like, I see stuff from it now, and I'm like, oh, God. Oh, God, no, put that away. Stop it. It's a lot of Nickelodeon stuff, actually.
I never watched a lot of Nickelodeon.
Mm-hmm.
I also, I guess that's one way that I'm lucky, at least with shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of the shows that I liked were not popular and got canceled really quickly.
Whoops.
I have, like, a lot of short-lived nostalgic things.
Right, which is, I think, almost sort of a lucky thing.
Yeah, like, it was really sad at the time, but I would still probably be watching some of those. I don't
Poor
give up on
thing.
stuff.
You do not give up on stuff. It's rough.
It's a tough road to walk.
So much.
Yeah. There are some shows like that where it's like, I'm so relieved when they say that it's gonna be canceled.
Yeah, like, oh, thank God. Fairly Odd Parents is still going. Did you know that?
I did not, no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's still going. I think, let me double check. I literally know there have been new episodes within the past 2 years. But let me just double check this real fast. Because, yeah, it's really bad. Like, oh, sorry. It finished last year.
Okay.
So, but
that's a long time, though.
it ran from 2001 to 2017. That is 16 years.
Yikes.
And the first 3 seasons were good.
Bad.
Yeah, it was, bad.
Well,
Oh, God.
in all fairness, though, I don't know, this is gonna make me not sound good. I shouldn't say it. I'm still watching South Park, guys.
You are still watching South Park, that's for damn sure.
I'm still caught up on South Park.
You don't give up on things.
I don't give up on things. I should, maybe.
Yes.
At least it wasn't like... Because there were good seasons after.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like 3 seasons, but it's like... What, 22 seasons? 21?
Jesus Christ.
It's been a lot of seasons.
Not quite as many as The Simpsons, but a lot.
A lot. And, like, the last several have not been great. There are, like, hidden gem episodes, but they're doing, like, season-long arcs now.
Oh.
And it's, like, that's a weird thing for a satirical comedy show about 4th graders.
Yeah.
Like,
It's still in 4th grade. What the fuck's up with that? I think one of the things that's a more recent thing that has nostalgia for me is what we started the episode with is Night Vale.
Yeah.
I have not listened to Night Vale in a long time. But when it was first coming out, like, I was on top of that shit.
Yeah.
Like, through the second arc, like, or season 2, I guess, is when through the Desert Bluffs arc.
Yeah.
Like, through that whole thing, like, I was caught up, and then at the end of that, I just sort of dropped off. Because it felt like there was a change in tone.
It definitely, like, it levels off. It gets less spooky and random.
Right. Which is...
And it's like, now we're settling into life at Night Vale. But the whole point of Night Vale in the early seasons was, like, you can't really settle into
Yeah,
it.
it's spooky and weird, and, like, that's the point of it. And it was, like, one of those things where it was, like, it just sort of was, like, a natural time to part ways with it, because it was after the end of a season, and, like, after the end of, like, a big story arc, and, like, I don't know what's going on now with Night Vale. It's still going.
Yeah, it's gonna be a show, I think.
Oh! Well, see, I'm interested
It's the last I heard.
I'm interested in that. I'd like to see, sort of, that tone come back. You know?
Yeah.
I think if I saw that tone come back, I'd get back into it. Because I really do love Night Vale.
You maybe should read the books.
The books?
Like, here's the thing. And I'll say this for our viewers also. The first book is, like, a good standalone. If you liked the podcast, you'll like the book. If you like spooky stuff but don't listen to podcasts, you might still like the book. The second one is definitely a lot more tied into what's going on in the podcast, which is weird to start with a sequel.
Yeah.
There are podcast spoilers in the second book, like, everywhere. But if you think that you might be done with the podcast, I would maybe recommend
the books.
Because they get a little bit grittier than the podcast did, past that point, at least. There were some pretty gritty moments in, like, the first arc of the podcast. I'm not gonna say it, like, gets worse than, like, the street cleaners.
Yeah, the street cleaners definitely did exist. Also, the entirety of Desert Bluffs is pretty gritty.
Yeah. That also.
There's a lot of blood. There's a lot of smiling.
But yeah, they've got that tone, kind of the... They put, like, different characters in the spotlight than the podcast does.
Mm-hmm.
But they're good. I like them. I'm gonna give the show a shot. I'm behind in Night Vale. I did listen past the second arc. I listened through the third arc.
Mm-hmm.
Most of it.
Most of it?
If not all of it.
Who knows?
Yeah. I was doing really good keeping up with podcasts for a while. Because I had an iPhone. And like the podcast app?
Yes.
Or the podcast, whatever.
Podcast.
I don't care. It's Apple. I don't care.
Apple, who cares? I say I'm recording on my Apple iPad. With my MacBook sitting right next to it. I don't like Apple products. They're just the best choice when you're doing art.
Yeah, but it was really easy to keep up with stuff. So
yeah.
And again, I think for that reason, like, Night Vale has never been that nostalgic to me because I never really quit it.
Right, you went on, when you were done listening to the book, you were reading the books.
But the one thing about that is that just because of the way that it's written, it can give you kind of a powerful feeling of nostalgia. Just and even though I used a quote about nostalgia in the beginning of this, the one that I'm going to call back to is the Glow Cloud, which is like the second episode.
Oh, yeah.
I get like so nostalgic at the end because there's that whole, it just gets so existential at the end.
The one that always gets nostalgic for me is Condos. Because I was there at the live recording of Condos. Like the actual one that they posted and all that. I remember because we had to take like a trip out there. I took a trip out there with my friends because I was in New York, but it was in one of the other boroughs. So we had to take it was like an hour train ride to get there, and everything. So we went all the way out there, and then it was our first time really seeing them live, and just the fact that we took a trip out there and then we got there and then it was something I kept listening to afterwards. It was I felt like I was a part of it at one point, and it was so I get super nostalgic for Condos. So it was a good episode, turns out. Yeah. I cried. I just fucking bawled at the end of it. It was very good.
Audio stuff gets me a lot.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Do you remember Jim Dale?
Fucking Jim Dale!
I brought back
the bane of my childhood.
I brought back so many memories for Kat now. It's me, Jim Dale. Jim Dale narrated the Harry Potter audiobooks for anyone wondering.
Yeah, for those few of you who don't know, that was another really weird thing. Just not a nostalgic thing, but just a side note to my childhood. I really thought that more people knew who Jim Dale was. I thought that was something that everyone grew up with.
Right, everyone grew up with Jim Dale.
It was baffling to me to learn that was not a universal life experience.
I was listening to Jim Dale read Harry Potter
every night. Because we moved around a lot, when I was a kid. And when my family first moved to Ohio, I was not looking forward to the trip, and one of the things, to pacify me, was they got me the audiobooks for the Harry Potter series, and this was back when there were only 3 Harry Potter books. So I got those, and they were a nice comforting thing on the ride out, and then I got really just attached to them, and that was what I would listen to fall asleep, because I've always slept better if I can listen to stuff or watch stuff or whatever. And for a long time it was exclusively the Harry Potter books, and it drove my parents crazy because it was several years. I was in middle school before that stopped. It was 6th grade, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
5th or 6th grade, before I started branching out from the Harry Potter books into other audio things.
Then you found Sweeney Todd.
But then I found Sweeney Todd, and everything was okay.
Because then the sun comes out and everything's okay.
Because the crossover cast with the Harry Potter series.
Of course.
Because Snape was there.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And Peter Pettigrew.
Everyone was there.
And Bellatrix Lestrange. My favorite Harry Potter characters.
Sorry, I have to wrestle the dog real fast. He's trying to get on the person who's allergic to the dog.
But the
No, Bubba.
Harry Potter audiobooks were recorded by Jim Dale, and there was, what I didn't know is that he was also doing PSA things about how good audiobooks were for children, and I had never heard them, because I was always just listening to Harry Potter, and the PSA thing at the end of Harry Potter was like, listen to more Harry Potter, I'm Jim Dale, and then like, so I listened to my first like not Harry Potter audiobook, and I was like falling asleep at the end of the disc, and I was like, it was dark, and just all of a sudden there was this, hello, this is Jim Dale, and it like, I just about had a heart attack. It was like the most frightening experience of my childhood.
I remember because you came into school the next day. Now this is before cell phones were like good, so we had fucking flip phones and shit. I didn't text because that costed minutes, and those were your fucking valuable resources. If you went on the internet, you would have shut that shit down. You were fucking dead if you went on the internet for a second.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we didn't text because we didn't have phones that could do... I didn't get a phone until 8th grade, actually. The point is, Kat came into school the next day, and she was pissed. She came up to me and was like, you will not believe what happened to me last night. And I was like, what happened? That's my child.
I love that Child Alan voice.
Child Alan voice. Dude, fucking Oliver from, I forgot, Oliver Twist. That's the name of the book.
And then also, because my parents are jerks, they also, because, like, the first one, I was listening to, like, another kid's book. It was, like, Charlie Bone or some shit. I don't know. But, like, my mom started copying out audiobooks for me, and she was she learned how to get the Jim Dale recording onto the end of other books. So as I made my transition into horror, and I remember it was Velocity.
It was Velocity!
That was also there. It was terrifying.
I'm Jim Dale.
I thought Jim Dale was stalking me. I thought he was, like, not a real person. I thought he was some kind of, like...
malevolent entity.
Poltergeist that lived in my CD player. That wanted me to read audiobooks to children.
Peeves the poltergeist? Actually Jim Dale this whole
just
time.
Jim Dale. So yeah.
Oh god.
He's like a voice actor. He does other stuff. He does not audiobooks.
He
does, what was it, Pushing Up the Daisies?
What?
There's like a really morbid sitcom that was narrated by Jim Dale.
Yeah, no, that's Pushing Up Daisies, because it's the one where they die and then come back.
Yeah.
Because Kristen Chenoweth's in that, and I love Kristen Chenoweth.
That was another instance, because I had kind of put my fear behind me, and then my parents were, like, watching this thing, and I was listening to the narrator, and it's like, I know that voice. That's Jim Dale.
That's Jim Dale, motherfucker!
Now, if anyone's wondering, actually, I have sad news.
Oh, no.
Earlier this year, Rita Treese died. He's the guy who was stalking me after Jim Dale, because he read the Song of Ice and Fire.
Oh, that's so sad. In this very what's going on in this podcast? Also, Jim Dale was on fucking Broadway for a while. Did you know that?
I did.
Jesus Christ.
Jim Dale.
He's everywhere. He also had Meet Jim Dale and the Jim Dale Show.
Yeah.
Well, was in fact Pushing Daisies.
Yeah.
Turns out. What the fuck is going on? Anyway, that's enough about Jim Dale.
Okay.
Unless you have more to say about Jim Dale.
That was
Would you
one
like
of
to talk
those.
about Jim Dale?
I would a little bit more, just because I think it's one of those interesting things. As a child, you think that the experiences that you're having are so universal.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you get to school and people don't know who Jim Dale is or what Chex Quest is, and you're like, huh.
Yeah, no, that's something I very quickly had to adjust to, is that nobody knew what Chex Quest was. And nobody wanted to hear me talk about Chex Quest. Except for Kat, who wanted to laugh at me. That makes it sound so mean. No, Kat wanted to hear me talk. about things other than to laugh at me about.
And I have played Chex Quest now.
She has. Kat is the only person who's played Chex Quest with me. I think maybe Ben played it like a little bit, but I think it made him motion sick because the original Doom engine.
Yeah, we had a. It was like a. I was gonna say 4th of July. That wasn't it.
Mm-mm.
We went over to your house for something, for an event for a holiday.
Something
Veterans Day.
Maybe, I don't know. You
Anyway,
came over to my house all the time. I don't know.
No, like Aaron and I came over to your house.
Oh, and then Aaron played it
For like a party, and everyone was playing Chex Quest because you got a Chex Quest emulator, and we're like, this is what we're doing now.
This is what we're doing now. That's how it is. That's life. I feel like we played some other games, but yes.
Yes.
I remember
it started with Chex Quest.
Because he was like, what? What is this game? And I was like, it's Chex Quest. You're a coward if you don't play. That's how I judge things. But no.
So that's a fun, nostalgic thing.
Is non-universal experience.
Not universal experiences.
Yeah. As it turns out, I was very culture shocked when I found out not everyone played Chex Quest and not everyone read the I love math books. I got into math class and people were like, I hate math. And I was like, well, what about the pterodactyls? And they were like, what the fuck are you? And I was like...
Do you remember Math Blasters?
Yes! I love Math Blaster. You know what I loved? I had this game. Here's another nostalgic game for me. Okay. I had this game called 4th Grade Adventures. And it was part of the series, and it was like 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, because there were like those teaching programs or whatever. But it was like a game, and it was supposed to be for 4th graders. I played it when I was in 3rd grade. I was really cool. But no, it was like one of those like puzzle teaching games, and it had like a bunch of different stuff in it. Mm-hmm. Like it had like one of those things where it's like you have to move a certain number of spaces, and the space you land on, if you get it right, it's all good, and if not, then you go back to the beginning. Mm-hmm. And then like it was also like math stuff and like the fucking the Candy Crush puzzles where you switch things around and stuff like that. And so it was just a bunch of those. However, so the premise, I may get you on this one. Okay, so the two kids go to visit their uncle, who is hunting he's trying to find a mythical creature. Mm-hmm. Would you like to guess what the name of the mythical creature is?
No.
I think you would.
Pteromathel.
Close.
Oh no.
His name was Mathra.
I hate that.
Mathra was the coolest shit when I was a kid. Because it's just a fucking dragon. Like, it's just a cool fucking dragon. But it is in fact named Mathra. Let me tell you, when I found out what Mothra was, I was like, oh, it was a pun the whole time. Took me a fucking while, let me tell you that. I didn't know who Mothra was, like, till late in the middle school at least. It might have been high school, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway,
But wait, if you had gone to someone who knew what Mothra was and you had corrected them and told them that it was Mathra and that they were a dragon, you could have fit in with the supernatural fandom so fucking well.
Huh? Jesus Christ.
Horror commentary.
But yeah, I remember, I went back and played that even when I was older, just because the puzzles were stupid easy at that point because I was beyond 4th grade. And I knew how to do things. But like, I remember I went back and played it a couple of times because it was like, it had a bunch of content in it. Like, it's like, you know those educational games that just have a shit ton of content for no apparent reason? For instance, Pajama Sam was one of those games. That was just so much. I still can't beat the second Pajama Sam game, by the way, because the fucking snowman puzzle is stupid. But like that and Freddy Fish also, and Putt Putt.
I don't know what any of these games are, just for
what?
the
Hold on, what? Okay,
yeah.
Do you know
not universal experiences?
What about Spy Fox?
What?
Oh no, I was a furry for so long. Okay. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna tell Kat about some nostalgic shit, because that's what we're on. Okay, so Freddy Fish was a game where you played as a fish named Freddy, and her sidekick, I don't remember his name. I was gonna say Flounder, but that's the Little Mermaid. Anyway, you play as Freddy Fish, and she goes on adventures. And they're like the point and click games. Like, they're just real basic kids point and click games.
Okay.
But it's like, so those ones were all underwater. Thing. Putt-Putt. Putt-Putt. Putt-Putt's a car. And
Don't like that.
the first game, you have to go rescue your dog from the moon. That's Putt-Putt.
Nope.
Pajama Sam. You're a child named Sam who's in his pajamas. And you have like hair that's like not separate from your body. His hair is the same color as his skin is. It's like blue. Anyway, the first game, you're scared of the dark. And you go into the closet to fight the boogeyman, and you go into an alternate dimension. That's your closet dimension. And then Spy Fox, you're a fox in a suit. He's a spy fox. There was a conspiracy about cereal in one of the games. That's what I remember.
Oh boy.
These were all by the same studio. Also, by the way, this was the same studio.
I can tell from the plot. I can tell from Putt-Putt the car.
The third Putt-Putt game, you had to travel through time. It was a time travel Putt-Putt game. But you had your dog with you this time. There was also the 4Kids collection. That was the other game I had as a child that I did make you play. Because it was mini games. Because that was the one with
Diamonds for Kids.
Yeah, that was the one with Diamonds for Kids.
That was great.
And Pac Junior also.
Yeah.
Which was very clearly a Pac-Man ripoff, but it was Pac Junior. Instead, there was also like a balloon. There was like a Space Invaders type one and like all the things. But Diamonds for Kids. Diamonds for Kids was, I need to know if there's a Diamonds for Adults. Actually, that's what I'm gonna look up while I'm talking about Diamonds for Kids.
Nice.
So Diamonds for Kids, like, it was sort of like Brick Break. Almost, it was like you had to solve puzzles and you had to like break the blocks to move through the stage, and like you could paint your ball different colors to knock out certain blocks.
Yeah.
And everything like that. But the thing I remember, about it was that when you completed the level, it would stop the ball wherever it was and just be like, good job, and then it would count up all your points.
Yeah.
And it would just and that was Diamonds for Kids.
Yeah. I think that's, here's like a fun nostalgia point. I think that's one of the reasons why the FNAF mini games give me such a sense of nostalgia, because they strongly remind me of Diamonds for Kids.
Which is weird because you technically didn't even play it, like, you played it as a kid, but like, not the same way.
Right.
It was like, I was like, play this game, cat. And then you did. But yeah, because it has the cheering.
Yeah.
Like the
cheering.
And it was like, good job.
Like Diamonds for Kids flashbacks.
I'm always having Diamonds for Kids flashbacks. Is there a Diamonds game? This is giving me like fucking Bejeweled. Yeah, because it's like Diamonds board game. Oh, here it is. It's Diamonds for Macintosh.
What?
Diamonds for Macintosh. This is Diamonds for Kids right here.
Oh.
From The Rarest Gamer on YouTube.
Hey.
I will have to look at. Find an emulator. That's what we're doing after this.
Nice. So here are some games that they're like nostalgic games that I would like to play. That I cannot ever find a copy of. Oh. So, here's your assignment. We're not giving you advice, but we are going to assign homework.
Homework.
If you guys can find me a copy of Pharaoh, of Shivers, Pandora's Box, and I feel like there's one more that I'm always complaining about never having access. What's the other
Diamonds
one?
for Kids.
Diamonds for Kids.
There's the diamonds for the Macintosh.
Of course. Betrayal and Terra. Good job, guys. Good job. Go find me these games. But I can't, like, not the discs. Like, I have discs for these games. I don't have any way to.
We need a digital copy of the game.
Yes, I need emulators for these. That's important.
How fucking long have we been
Forever.
talking? I don't have a. God, what's happening on my iPad? We've been going for, it doesn't say.
Nice.
Oh, no, we've been going for an hour and 10 minutes.
Oh.
That's
actually not as bad as I was afraid of.
Yeah, it's actually pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
As it turns out. So what about,
here's, like, a side thing that is dangerously close to advice. If you can harness the power of nostalgia into whatever project you're working on, that is going to be like an instant classic.
Yeah.
That's one of the great things about nostalgia, is that, especially if you have one of those like really specific non-universal experiences, it's going to be nichey, but people are going to relate to it.
Right.
If they've also, had any kind of similar experience. And I think a really good example of nostalgia being a really powerful tool is To Kill a Mockingbird.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause that's a big draw.
Right.
For the book. I read it every summer.
Right, because it's about kids in the summer and learning about things. And
yeah, and it makes you feel like a kid while you're
right.
reading it, because it's,
It's like one of those things where, I find, like, I have a hard time finding something that really, because my childhood experiences were so niche, I grew up as the, child of a folk musician with a PhD and a, 9-to-5 working mother in computer administration, with a physics master, and I had an older sister. We were, like, the least cool people. Yeah, my family's a bunch
not
of
accept that.
fucking nerds, as it
Your
turns out.
dad's so cool.
Shut up, my dad is cool, oh my god. But so, it's one of those things where, and so we had these weird fucking games also, like, I don't know how we got half of these games, like, they were given to us, no one would buy these games, but so, I had such niche childhood experiences that I've never found something that really, like, makes me feel nostalgic the way just going back and playing something does.
Yeah.
Because it's like, when I go back and, like, play Spyro, I'm like, I am in my parents' living room, as a small child, fucking around with PlayStation, and getting mad. But it's like, even when I go back and, like, play the old Pokemon games, I don't feel that nostalgic for it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, Double's hurting you. She's nostalgic.
She keeps
for
sticking
hurting
her claws
people.
in me.
She likes to claw. That's her nostalgia. She's
So
giving me the
cute.
stink eye. But yeah, it's like, but if you find a way to harness the feeling of nostalgia,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna really click
Yeah.
with, like, a lot of people.
And that's something, like, a lot of my favorite horror things, I think, are effective because they're very nostalgic.
Mm-hmm.
Voluntary committal, I feel like I talk about sometimes. I don't know how often I've talked about it on the podcast.
I don't think I've ever heard you say that name before.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. I'm going to talk about voluntary committal. There's the short story that I really like by Joe Hill.
Shit.
It was a trap.
It was a trap.
Into it. It's not even called voluntary committal. It's called horns.
No, that's not a short story.
No, but it's like the premise. It's about, like, building forts out of, like, cardboard boxes.
Yeah.
And it just like it starts with the kids, like, playing with Legos or whatever, and it just, like, there's such a strong feeling of nostalgia at the beginning of the story, and you get, like, so invested so fast. And even though it's a short story, you feel like you've been, like, because as the kid goes from, like, the Legos to the paper cups to the boxes to, you know, like, his forts get more and more intricate, and you feel like you're, like, growing up with him almost.
Right.
So it feels like you've been invested in the story for, like, a long time, by the time any of the horror stuff even comes up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's a very effective
right.
method.
It's if you're doing, like, if you're trying to get us familiar with a character from a young age to where they are now in a short period of time, giving glimpses of them doing similar things throughout, or similar themed things throughout different bursts of their life will really sort of help to cement the feeling of the character. For instance, with me, I love dinosaurs. And it's weird because I have all these different periods in my life where I see different versions of me with dinosaurs. Like, because I was thinking about toys. I had dinosaur toys. Instead of, like, playing with Barbies, I played with my dinosaurs, and the dinosaurs ate the Barbies. That's how it was in this house. And, like, I would also watch, like, Land Before Time, and then, like, I grew up and I really liked Jurassic Park, and now I'm still watching Jurassic Park, but, like, I haven't gone to watch Jurassic World because I'm scared. I don't want, if I'm gonna watch that, I can just watch Jurassic Park again. But so it's, like, one of those things where it's, like, through nostalgia, we see ourselves doing similar things consistently. I think it's a good character building thing.
Yeah.
Also, to see just how the interests sort of change or stay the same throughout things.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Good.
But this isn't our advice because we're not giving advice today.
Yeah.
You should talk about cats because you've got a cute little cat on you right now. She's cuddling you.
Oh, that was a thing. Like, as a kid, I had, like, mostly cat toys.
She would like you to keep petting her head, please.
Yes.
She doesn't want you to stop petting her.
And now as an adult, I'm stealing Double.
You're not stealing Double.
She's on
Ben's gonna show up out of nowhere and, like, kick you in the shin. She's trying to take...
She's purring.
She's always she's a good cat.
She's a good girl.
She's so cute.
Yes.
But yeah. I think, is there anything else? Anything else nostalgic to talk about? I want to look up Freddy Fish.
This is a very, it's a related topic, I guess. Even though it's kind of, learning makes me feel very nostalgic.
Yeah, I feel it.
I'm having, it's something I've been going through a lot lately, because I've been learning different languages. And, like, a big part of it is because I'm reading the Harry Potter books in French, and just Harry Potter generally is very nostalgic for me, because that was all I did for most of my childhood, was Harry Potter related things. So part of it really is just, like, the story, but it's also, like, I haven't had that feeling of barely comprehending a language since I was, like, a very small child.
And I'm doing that in French class?
Over again. No. I do, however, still get a little bit nostalgic when I hear La Legend de Saint Nicolas. You okay? I broke Alan.
I'm just wiggling, because that's what we do when they sing the song, but I've forgotten the words, because I can't speak French anymore.
Il était trois petits enfants qui sont allés glaner au champ. Tant sont allés, tant sont venus, que sur le soir se sont perdus. Se sont allés chez un boucher.
You're upsetting the dog. He doesn't like...
Boucher voudrait une loger.
He's like, okay, that's so done. I'm done with this. I'm tired. Put my dog to sleep by talking to him in French. Saw Madame at Starbucks again today.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What
Our
happened?
French teacher shows up in my Starbucks sometimes.
Oh.
Because, I don't know. she won't leave my life. Luckily, she doesn't know who I am.
Oh, that's
so, like, it's...
comforting.
Yeah, I would hate to try to fucking explain anything about that.
See, it's so hard because I want to ask for a favor. But it's to sabotage you, so I don't think you'll say yes.
No, I don't think I will, as it turns out.
Alan got me in this really awkward situation. We were in 8th grade. And I
don't regret nothing.
I would love the opportunity to put him also in an awkward situation by reminding our French teacher who he is.
So,
but Alan's not going to text me to let me know when she's there.
She also only shows up for like 5 minutes. And she disappears into the depths of the mall. But so, what I did to Kat. So, we were, it's Sweeney Todd related.
Speaking of nostalgia.
I don't even remember how it came up. It was in class.
It came up because she was always going on these rants about her daughter, because her daughter had just moved to London.
And at some point, you said it, right?
Yes.
You were the one that said, so you started, and she was, Kat was like, there's no place like London. French teacher did not get it was a reference. Also heard her say it.
Also, it was 2007, like Sweeney Todd had just come out. Like, it was obviously a reference.
She did not get it. And so... Madame stopped her after class, and I stuck with it because that's what I did. Because we had the next class together, because we had gym next. And she was like, have you been to London? And wasn't that what she said?
Yeah, she's like, I didn't know that you'd ever been to London. And it took me a second, because I'm just like, I was so used to making Sweeney Todd references at that point, and it, like, didn't occur to me. Well, so I kind of, like, wormed my way out of the situation. I was like, I had artfully dodged answering the question, and I was like on my way to the next class, which is when Alan chimes in.
The shaves are to die for. Something like that.
Yeah, Alan like with like the smuggest look on his face. He knew what he was doing. He gets like so proud of himself, and he is like, "Why don't you tell her about the barber shops in London?" And it's like, fucking. Oh,
we were late to gym.
Yeah.
Oh, I would have traded it for the world.
Oh my god. But yeah. And then he just, like, watched. He just, like, watched and laughed for the next 2 minutes as I, like, struggle to, like, talk to my French teacher about London.
She was a little off her rocker. It turns out.
A little bit.
She was,
a lot.
Yeah.
But
an interesting woman.
She taught us great songs.
She did teach us great songs, like Rudolph in French. And
did we learn Rudolph?
Yeah, we learned Rudolph.
Okay.
Rudolph Petit Les Rouges, no? Something like that.
Okay. I believe you.
We learned Rudolph.
I remember Say Halloween.
Say Halloween. Talk about not universal experiences. Our listeners are just like phased the fuck out because we've been like talking about French for the past 5 minutes.
My sorcier sur le soir. I'm gonna go off again.
Don't go off again. The dog is so silly. You're putting him to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh,
nice. Chevalier de la Table Ronde.
We have to stop the podcast. You won't stop talking in French. There's not really a moral in this episode. There's not like a...
We don't have any kind of lesson or
We just wanted to talk about some fun nostalgic stuff because, you know, why not? Sometimes it's good to just reflect on the past. The good stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe not the time I harassed my best friends into her to be harassed by our French teacher, but... You're dying over there. Jesus Christ, what happened?
I'm sorry. Just the way you said that, it reminded me of the adventurous thing where you're like, just the good stuff.
I
meant everything I ever said. Just the good stuff. Not the lies.
I meant everything I ever said. Except for the lies. Franz is a good character.
Just the way that you set it up, I could like hear the not the lies part.
Why not the lies? Oh, that's your lesson for today.
Yeah.
I meant everything I ever said except for the lies. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, nostalgia is good, guys.
Nostalgia's good. Maybe one day we'll have a nostalgia episode where we actually give some advice, but...
We didn't have any advice today.
Yeah. Maybe give some context for your nostalgia before just saying things like Freddy Fish and Spy Fox.
Yeah, that's so funny. Because we had like just covered that these things weren't universal, and Alan just goes off on this fucking list of things that I don't think exist.
I'm gonna give. I want you to see. I want this to be on the recording for you to see a picture of Putt Putt.
I don't think I want to see Putt Putt. Oh, you guys.
This is Putt Putt.
No! No.
That's the end of the episode. Guys, it's been a good one.
I miss my childhood.
Thanks for listening. This has been Unsolicited Advice. I'm Bubblegum.
I'm sad.
We'll see you next time on the Putt Putt podcast.
That is like Christine Bars.